She gon' strip it down for a thong, yeah. Run around till she got the buzz, yeah. 5 shots in, she in love now. Pull up, shut the club down.
Hey, it's your girl Kalisha. I'm back with another video. Today I'm coming at you with another story time. Sorry this last minute. Well, this is not even last minute. I'm sorry. I'm recording this last minute. I'm limiting to myself. I need to start pre-recording. Get us together, Kalisha. So this is part 2 of the story time series with Lance. I ended the last story when I was like, oh, I started going crazy over him, which I did. I was this man, if he wouldn't answer the phone, I would call him 80 times back to back. I would text him back to back because he was a liar. Like I said, a compulsive liar. So yeah, all the time, like I know 100%. Still, not to this day, I can't really prove it, but I know he was with other people, and like he was like living the type of person that he was. He never got nothing off of me, but the type of person he was, and I think he may still kind of be, is like he be with like older women to really like get stuff out of him, and he'll be like, oh no, I'm a man, da da da. That's why in that text stuff when I was saying, he was like, oh, the man of the house, like I was about to say something, but I know a lot of y'all may not agree, but how you expect to be a king of a castle and a woman is putting in more than you putting in? And I'm sorry, even if a man is paying 50-50, he can't be the king of my castle. Like, that's a roommate. So yeah, he was like, that's what he was doing. Like, if I would look on Facebook, on his Facebook, so I would go crazy. I would hit him up on Facebook, any social media that we had. So he ended up blocking me. But sir, I have like 30 other pages. So I would go on my other pages and see like, oh, he got other women. He commenting on these stuff like, oh, that's mine. He like, oh, you my baby, da da da, stuff like that. And it's like, I'm looking at these women like, number one, I'm 16, you 23, and these women is like older than my mama, and my mama had me when she was 18, so my mama not really old, but like, sir, you're 23 and these women are in their 40s. Like, my mama turned 40 this year, and he been messing with 40-year-olds. So we would get into it a lot about that. So what happened was, and I'm not gonna deep dive into this, but a friend that I had, come to find out that he messed around with somebody real close to her, a older person. Like he normally mess around with a older not older like 60 or nothing like that, but like in their 40s, late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s. I don't know how old that she was at that time, but he had messed around with her, and he was just like, I was like disgusted with him. And it's nothing against the women that he was messing with, that's just the biggest turn off. But me, I was 16, I was young, and y'all, I really like loved this idiot, because like he would like, after me going crazy on him, he would call and be like, why are you going crazy? Like, put all the blame on me, which I was kind of crazy, no lie, but he was just like the biggest compulsive liar I know. Like, any other thing he would lie about. And he didn't live too far from where we stayed. We stayed in some apartments, and he stayed in some apartments not too far, well, like right across from us, really. Not the same apartment complex, but like real close. He would come, like, say if he would come by me or whatever, which of course I would sneak him in, and of course when he would come, he would like turn his phone on do not disturb, turn his phone off, turn his phone on silent, stuff like that. And I'm like that would have me so aggravated. But like when we was in person, like say I would cuss him out and stuff when I went around him, but when we was in person, we would fuss for like a few minutes, but then I would just be like, whatever, what they call it, put it in his hands. Like I just, he was whatever. Whatever. I was dumb. I was 16. So like I said, how he was messing around with that certain person that I knew, somebody that was related to my friend. So one day we was talking good, and sometimes my phone would trip. Like sometimes I would have to go walk outside to talk on my phone when we stayed in an apartment. Sometimes it worked in the house, sometimes it didn't. It was a game of chess. So one day we was talking like good. Like, matter of fact, he had came by me that exact day, that morning. Like not that morning, that day, like when I had got out of school. So it was good with school. We was talking like, and then it like got 9 o'clock at night, and he stopped answering me. So I'm like, whatever. I was like, I'm not even gonna trip. Like, whatever. I just saw him today. It was a good day. Whatever. So at about like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I was on the phone walking around outside talking to somebody, and he come hit me up, and he was like, why this person told, this is the situation, it's hard. to explain. So he was messing around with this married lady. And at that time, he lied, of course, and said that he wouldn't, but everybody knew he was messing around with that lady. The lady that he was messing around with worked with the other lady from my friend family that he had also messed around with before. So what happened was that woman that he was messing around with, the married lady, she was talking like about him and saying oh, her husband left her because he found out that she was messing around with him, all kind of crazy stuff. And my friend family member that he had messed around with told her, ended up finding out that, you know, that I was messing around with him. Like, oh, poor, I don't know why you wasting time with him. He messed around with a 16-year-old girl right now. Oh my goodness. He told me that she did that. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, no way, no way. I was scared because number one, I didn't want my mama to find out. He was scared. He was also mad, and it was just like, so she told, oh, I just remember this night. So I was like, oh my goodness, I got the phone with him, and I was like, I'm about to call her. Which of course I never disrespected this lady, but I was like, oh my goodness, why she did that? So I called my friend, and my friend called that family member, and she like we was on three-way, and I'm like, yeah, what did I name him? Lance. Lance said that you told somebody that I'll talk to him, and she was like, look, she said, you don't need to be talking to him. He is 23. He ain't no good. He messing around with this married lady. The lady husband left her because she found out he was messing with him. And I told her what he was doing. She's like, you don't need to be messing around with him. And she never told my mom, but she was like, to me, she would like tell me some stuff, which would be the truth, but I would be like, whatever. But she wouldn't like that bad or whatever. Like, she would just like, you know, like tell me like, get yourself together, Kalisha, which, I mean, looking back, of course, that was the right thing she was telling me, but at that time, I was like, she needs to mind her business. Like, oh, I wish she would mind her business. But, yeah, so that situation happened. It was so crazy. I was like, oh my goodness, why did she do that? I was so mad, but she like explained it, and I understand now where she was coming from, but I was like, ugh. And so when I was talking to my friend was like, why would she even do that? Like, but my friend didn't like him either, because my friend knew a lot of stuff about him too, I guess, from her family member, you know. So that whole situation was crazy. That situation really washed over. I didn't get in trouble. She didn't tell my mama, but it was just so much stuff. Like, so he knew some other people that stayed in my apartment complex, and he would be back there sometime, like, and I wouldn't even know. He wouldn't even tell me, but every once in a while he would tell me, like, I would see him walking, and like my mama would be outside. I remember one time my mama and my aunt was outside, and I was about to go sleep to my aunt's house, and he was outside, and I walked up, and he was like, what's up, girl? And I was like, what's up? Like, da-da-da. And my mom was like right over there, and he like saw us outside talking, but you know, we didn't really talk, because of course I don't want my mama to know, like, to be like, oh, how you know him, da-da-da, none of that. I'm like, what he doing back there, da-da-da. So I hit him up. I'm texting him while I'm in the car with my aunt about to go to her house, and he not answering, and I come to find out that, well, I look on his Facebook, because I was still blocked at that time. For us to be cool, I was blocked over his Facebook, and I think no, I didn't block him. That was around the time when I wouldn't block him on nothing. Not these days, of course, he blocked on everything by me, but back then he would block me on everything except like his number, because, you know. So I went to look on my backup Facebook that I had, and I saw that him and that girl that stayed not too far behind me, which the girl, I didn't dislike her, but I was like, she was in school with me. She was still in high school, but she was like about to turn 20. So like, she was like 19 and he was like 23, so like that's not bad. 16 and 23, you know, that's bad. So I found out, and it's like, oh, she would post stuff and she'll be like, oh, and I remember he used to post stupid, he still posts stupid stuff, matter of fact, like, you're about to be 30 and still posting charges, whatever. So he posted something stupid like, oh, like this if you think I'm fine or whatever, and I'm gonna hit you up. And she had put a heart, like commented a heart, and she liked it, because that was before you could like react the like or the laugh or whatever on Facebook. So I was like, and he will be back there, so I'm like, really? That's what you're doing? So I remember I had cursed him out, but a lot of the stuff I would find out, I wouldn't tell him because I'm like, oh, I don't want him to think that I'm like stalking him. But one time I got so crazy, y'all. Just another time I did that. I made a whole nother account, and I made an account or whatever, and I was like I added him, and soon like when I added him, and I was like, hey, and he was like, hey, or whatever, da da da. And so I was like, you single? And he was like, yeah. And the minute he said yeah, like I just blew it. I was so mad. I went off on him. I'm like, you stupid B, da da da. I'm done with you. Like I remember one day. And that was like the tipping point because we would argue so much. So I was like, I am 100% done with you. So when I would be, and to say it would be crazy, to when he would be mad at me, and he would be like, man, I'm just tired of this, da da da. I would call him back to back nonstop. But when I would finally get to my breaking point, when I was done with him, like he wouldn't, like we would leave each other alone for 2 days, and then he would call me and be like, I'm sorry, da da da, why you acting like this? I'ma do better, we both gotta do better, da da da, stuff like that. I really want to see you. And then we would see each other, and then it would all be cool again. So it's like he was a manipulator, and I was like crazy and young and dumb. So it was just a whole toxic situation, y'all. I used to be so stressed out over this dude. Like in school, I used to be at band practice and texting him. If I would answer him, he would answer me right back. But if once I like would answer him like at night, because I think he was living with somebody probably, he would take the longest, so I would blow his phone up. And then I remember sometimes he would block my phone number. So baby, we got a house phone. I'm gonna call you private. So he would turn his phone off and everything at night because I would just be blowing him up. Cause like I just had a feeling. I just knew that he was messing around with other people, which he was, but he was just a manipulator. And then it was so many times I was at my breaking point, and I'm like, I'm completely done with you. I remember one day I was in band practice, and I was like, I am done with you. Like, I was talking to somebody at school, and I was like, you know, I'm young, I'm 16. I shouldn't be going through this. I have other people, I'm having fun with people my age. I have other people that I can talk to, and I'm dealing with this toxic situation. And I remember one day at band practice, we was in sectionals. Like sectionals is when you go each section of the band. Like I played flute, so the flutes all go with their section, you know, all the instruments, they go with their section, and y'all have practice moments. So we was in sectionals practicing like for like 30 minutes, and I was so stressed out. I wasn't even focusing on band, wasn't concentrating on it, whatever, wasn't really paying attention or learning the music. And I remember this girl was asking me for help, one of the underclassmen, and I was just in 10th grade, but I had got real good at my instrument, so I like read music real good, and so I would help other people also. And it got to a point to where like I knew the music, I could have knew it if I looked at it and read it, but I wouldn't even practice in my instrument when I was at home. I wasn't taking it serious. I wasn't really looking through the music, so I couldn't even really help them. And it was like crazy, like I'm not myself. And band, it was really a big part of my life, and I really loved the band. And it's like I would skip band practice to see him and stuff like that, all kind of stuff. And me skipping band practice, I would get in trouble because if you skip, you gotta like do extra stuff, or you know, you're not gonna know the music, you're gonna get behind. I would skip band practice all the time to see him. Like my mom would think I was at band practice. No, I was sneaking him in, like all type of stuff like that. So I was just like, oh my goodness, I am done with him. So I had just let him go. Like I was so done with him. Like I didn't tell him nothing. It went for a few days, and he was hitting me up. So then he ended up hitting me up, and we was talking, and I was like, I'm done with you. I was like, da da da. He was like, come on, don't do this, da da da. So I was like, we only could be friends. So we were so safe friends, but we was doing all the same stuff. Like while we was friends, we was talking more than we was talking. We was so safe together. So whatever, we was like, oh well, we so sick, got back together. And when we got back together, it went back to the same stuff. It went back to, oh, we barely talking. I hit him up, he won't hit me up. I'm texting him back to back, calling his phone. The same toxic cycle. And it's like I would jump out of it for a little bit after I got like to my wits end, like so tired of it. And then it was like he would pull me back in, and it was just, that was like a toxic bad situation. And I was young, y'all. After that, we really ended up kind of like falling apart, and I did something bad that to this day, I don't know. If I was him, I wouldn't even want to talk to me. Like I wouldn't want nothing to do with me because I didn't do nothing bad, but I threatened to do something bad, and y'all probably already know what I threatened him. But it was like I was so obsessed with him. It was crazy. It was a crazy situation, and I'm gonna leave that for the next story because this is gonna be a series, y'all, and I gotta break it up. But y'all just gotta know I'm filling y'all in with a lot of the stuff that just happened, and yeah. But I did some crazy stuff. I did some bad stuff. He did some no good stuff also. But it's just so many things that happened, and all these years of me knowing him was definitely a lesson, and I know better. So I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video, and the next one should be a little better than this one, but yeah, I really gotta get this video up for y'all, and I'm sorry, and I love y'all so much. Comment other videos that y'all want to see, and I really just love y'all, and I appreciate y'all so much. Comment what y'all want to see down below, and get ready for the next story. And somebody was like, oh, don't think we forgot about the series. Duh, of course y'all want to forget about the series. I'm not gonna forget about it either. I promised it to y'all, but every single video can't be the series till I finish. Like, of course I'm gonna sprinkle some other videos in the middle, in the mix, you know. So I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all, and I thank y'all so much for watching. Follow my Instagram. Y'all been following me on Instagram. Make sure y'all subscribe, because like I said, my analytics say a lot of y'all that watch is not subscribed, so subscribe. And yeah, I love y'all, and I thank y'all for watching, and see y'all in my next video. Bye.